You can't be wasting no time. Yeah. Yeah. Stuck between the world and the truth. Yeah. You gotta know that your soul on the line. Yeah. You can't be wasting no time. No. It's all in the scriptures, read through the lines. I'm a king like David, look in my eyes. No, I'm not capping or quoting no lines. I am not perfect, but I'ma keep trying. Keep on repenting, renewing your mind. Humble yourself and lose your pride. I pray that them blessings rain down on me. I pray this reach the streets. I'm praying for my brother team. Stay strong, you never been weak. We ain't no slaves, man, we gotta wake up. Acknowledge you know that they hate us. Fell off, don't do it again. Why you got grace? It's almost the end. We gotta fight if we wanna win. We cannot settle or lose again. Trust in the Lord and stop sinning. I know it get hard, but He got a plan. Stop all the arguing and all the fussing. Put down the guns and stop all the hate. We come together, then we gon' be great. Don't follow them heathens, man, they fake. Seek knowledge and truth. It works, just change you. Don't let this world get to your head. This world will rock you to bed. The government killing us too. They shooting poison in the food. Life or death, you gotta choose. You in the world or you in the truth. You gotta know that your soul on the line. You can't be wasting no time. It's all in the scriptures, read through the lines. I'm a king like David, look in my eyes. No, I'm not capping or quoting no lines. I am not perfect, but I'ma keep trying. Keep on repenting, renewing your mind. Humble yourself and lose your pride. I pray that them blessings rain down on me. I pray this reach the streets. I'm praying for my brother team. Stay strong, you never been weak. We ain't no slaves, man, we gotta wake up. Acknowledge you know that they hate us. Fell off, don't do it again. Why you got grace? It's almost the end.
It's almost the end, you gotta wake up. Come back, you Jacob. Lost sheep of the house of Israel. You know they hate us. Grass cut in my mind, so I can see when they snake us. Conspire, plotting, they take us. Kill us on a daily basis. I pray that it's reach the streets. I pray when I face the east. I seen what nobody has seen. A bunch of slaves turning to kings. I pray for buckshot, bread boy, Mac 10 and K-Dog. I pray the Most High save y'all. Don't let the devil come
You
take
gotta know that your
y'all.
soul on the line. You can't be wasting no time. It's all in the scriptures, read through the lines. I'm a king like David, look in my eyes. No, I'm not capping or quoting no lines. I am not perfect, but I'ma keep trying. Keep on repenting, renewing your mind. Humble yourself and lose your pride. I pray that them blessings rain down on me. I pray this reach the streets. I'm praying for my brother team. Stay strong, you never been weak. We ain't no slaves, man, we gotta wake up. Acknowledge you know that they hate us. Fell off, don't do it again. Why you got grace? It's almost the end.
Why we got grace? We gotta seek and make a change before it's too late. I pray that I make it to see them gates. I pray that my mama stays strong in her faith. I see the devil is cunning. He gon' give you what you want in this world now. He gon' give you all the girls now. He gon' give you all the money now. But we gotta stand up, rearrange the spirit, lift that man up. Save us, pray for me while we slaving in this land of captivity. How you gon' test and make us who we gotta be brave. That our people's souls find a way to the Father that's in heaven. And all my people dying by the hand of the police. That's how we'll come when they
know
notice
that your
us.
soul on the line. You can't be wasting no time. It's all in the scriptures, read through the lines. I'm a king like David, look in my eyes. No, I'm not capping or quoting no lines. I am not perfect, but I'ma keep trying. Keep on repenting, renewing your mind. Humble yourself and lose your pride. I pray that them blessings rain down on me. I pray this reach the streets. I'm praying for my brother team. Stay strong, you never been weak. We ain't no slaves, man, we gotta wake up. Acknowledge you know that they hate us. Fell off, don't do it again. Why you got grace? It's almost the end. I pray that them blessings rain down on me. I pray this reach the streets. Praying for my brother team. Stay strong, you never been weak. We ain't no slaves, man, we gotta wake up.
We ain't no slaves, we gotta wake up. Welcome to the Hebrew state of being. We are your humble servants and hosts for tonight. Host in a biblical sense, that is. I am Kayel Solo Dolo. The Rib is out doing her thing, and my young Hebrew is in this room learning. So we're gonna get into this cultural appropriation tonight, and we just gonna go there. We're gonna get deep with it. Understand that prayer is needed, but as the title says, Guard your mind and burn down the lies. We have to recognize the lies in our life so that we can burn them down, so that we can get to truth. Without truth, there's nothing. I mean, if there's no truth in the world, then there's nothing to live for. There's no law, there's no structure, there's chaos, there's anarchy, there's do as thy wilt. Many people that have presented themselves in recent his story have presented themselves as the authority of righteousness, as the law holders of the Most High. After all, this demonic organization calls itself the Vicar, which in Latin means the representative of the Most High. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have these Abrahamic religions that have come into our communities and have led us astray along with the Kemetic and the Islamic law, doctrines. We're going to go there tonight because there's not much time left, like the song says. There's not much time left for us to be dilly-dallying with lies, to be soft-footed around the truth. So, guard your mind, the first part of our title tonight. Guarding your mind is something that is crucial. We did on Monday night, we discussed the alone time with the Most High, meditation, getting back to your Creator, that being the only place for your source power. It's not amongst people, it's not amongst governments. It's about your alone time with your Creator and yielding, manifesting your reality. Well, with guard your mind, in order for you to guard your mind, you have to have that alone time with the Most High to know the truth. What would you be guarding your mind from if you're not guarding your mind from lies? If you're not guarding your mind from iniquity? Guarding your mind is a supernatural, spiritual affair. It's a supernatural warfare. Your mind, as we've broken down before, there's conscious and subconscious, but conscious in its etymology, con, and then science. And we've broken down that science is just, in fact, that a con. It is the supposed deconstruction of the Most High's nature. They are deconstructing what the Most High has created and calling it science and saying that there is no need for the Creator when you know how it's brought together from His elements. I think that's quite arrogant, to say the least. But what we're discussing tonight is that these same so-called spiritual leaders, these entities, these institutions of so-called lawgivers and righteousness, these have been the very same ones that have done as thy wilt, that has not followed the law that they say that they represent. They have created demonic doctrine from the holy manuscripts, the ancient text. We're going to read, well, no, I want us to have the right mind state for the scriptures that we're going to read tonight. And that's going to be Isaiah 26. I want us to watch this clip about Canada and the mass graves that have been found. Now, when you watch this here in America, as my brother Aboriginal Indian is gonna will attest to, is the fact that we are all Aborigine here. Yes, we are mixed with the west coast of Africa and the Negro land, which is the slave coast. Yes, we are an amalgamation together. I am an actual representation of that, as my mother's lineage is all Aborigine and my father's lineage is south of France. So those West Coast Africa, all the way up to Portuguese, to Spain, to the south of France, all of those original Black Portuguese, which were before being called Black Portuguese, were Hebrews, were Shemitic people before the Eber, before there was an Abraham, there were a Shemitic people. So we don't want to get caught up in the fables and the trickery and the absolute pencil whipping that has come from these same demonic entities and institutions. So when we watch this Canada and you see what these demonic institutions have done in Canada and how they are responding to the atrocities in which they've done, I want you to be clear that those same atrocities were done here. I want you to be clear that those same atrocities have been done in America to the same Aborigine as they've done in Canada. But we had this thing called transatlantic slave trade. So therefore, they created a story that America didn't start until the transatlantic slave trade. Yes, they say it was discovered in 1492 by the colonists, but we know he never came to North America. We know he went to Hispaniola, which is Haiti and Dominican Republic. We know he got a little bit to Venezuela, but he never came to North America. It wasn't until De Soto came in the late 1540s that they actually came through Yamasee territory by way of Florida. Got it all the way up to Louisiana, and he died in Ouachita or Washita, however you want to pronounce it, territory, where they still call it De Soto Parish right now to this day. Now, those are all Black Indians. Yamasee, Shatta, Ouachita, Chittimacha, Choctaw, Houma, all that is Aborigine copper-colored, as the 1828 Noah Webster Dictionary describes as the original American, the copper-colored Aborigine of America, but now applied to the descendants of the Europeans. So when we look at the atrocities that was done and that are being uncovered in Canada, understand these same atrocities happened here. But they swept it under the rug and gave you a whole new stamp of slavery and gave you all Jim Crow and gave you all of these other things. I see my thing is billowing nice. I'm going to put it right over here. Yeah. So as we see that they were doing the same atrocities here, but gave us this new story and gave us these Mongolians as the Aborigine as opposed to the Blacks. And then they said every person of copper color came by way of the transatlantic slave trade. Lies. We're going to burn down the lies, right? I seen the feelings in that. Yes. So that is their story, that the same demonic people in Canada, Alana, the same ones that did these atrocities that you're about to witness, that we're about to play, the same ones that did that were the same ones that were here, that did the same thing here, and then brought in transatlantic slave trade, then said that, oh, forget about anybody being Aboriginal, we killed all of them. Now they all came by way of Africa. So that we will be disconnected from this land. We will be disconnected from our ancestors. We would then think that we're separate. We would think that the ones from Africa and the ones from America, the Aborigine here that can show all their families still whole as Aborigine and are very much categorized as African Americans, those people won't have a problem with the ones. Well, I mean, those people would never connect with the ones that came through the transatlantic slave trade. They would make a beef between them two, invisible lines saying that we can't kick it, that we are from two different things, but we are all one Aborigine of the entire earth. Not just America, South America, Caribbean, or Africa. We're the Aborigine. It's when you look at DNA, we are the humans. The other DNA, the Homo erectus, is a mix between a Neanderthal and a human, but starting with 100% human, which would be the Aborigine. So let's get into this video. I want y'all to have that understanding when you see what the colonizers did there and know that it was done here. And yeah, let's just when we get to Isaiah 26, he'll wrap it all up nice and neat.
Grave of children has been unearthed, school children, and this is the third one since May. 182 unmarked graves have been found in British Columbia. More than 1,000 mass graves have been found in Canada. The findings have led to an angry backlash, but neither the Justin Trudeau government nor the Catholic Church wants to take responsibility.
No, they don't take
Here's a report.
The indigenous communities of Canada are living a nightmare on repeat. In recent weeks, more than 1,000 unmarked graves of their loved ones have been found. Another 182 graves have now been discovered at former indigenous schools, the third such find since May. The remains are believed to be of students between 7 to 15 years old. Some bodies were buried in shallow graves only 3 and 4 feet deep. They were found near Cranbrook in British Columbia, at the St. Eugene's Mission Residential School. From late 1800s to late 1990s, more than 150,000 indigenous children were forced to attend residential schools. These schools were operated by the Catholic Church on the behalf of the federal government. These schools were a front for a forced assimilation campaign. The children were barred from speaking their language. They suffered sexual and physical abuse at the hands of school authorities. Many students disappeared. They are now being found in unmarked graves. The grim history has entered current politics. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is under pressure. The opposition is calling him inconsiderate. Indigenous community leaders and advocates are protesting. They want the government to cancel the Canada Day celebrations, insisting that Canada has nothing to celebrate. But Trudeau has turned down the idea. Instead, he is pointing fingers at the Catholic Church. He wants the Pope to apologize for what happened in Canada's Catholic schools.
I have spoken personally, directly, with His Holiness Pope Francis to impress upon him how important it is, not just that he makes an apology, but that he makes an apology to Indigenous Canadians on Canadian soil. I know that the Catholic Church leadership is looking and very actively engaged in what next steps can be taken.
The Vatican had refused to apologize. It is facing a violent backlash. 2 Catholic churches were set ablaze in Canada on Wednesday. In recent days, as many as 8 churches have been either destroyed or damaged in suspicious fires. Last week, a statue of Pope John Paul II was defaced outside a church. Red paint was smeared across the base of the statue. Canadian police have launched an investigation into all incidents. Canada is facing up to its brutal history. Violence should be unacceptable, but so should be any attempts to brush the state's culpability under the carpet. Bureau Report, WION. World is one.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.
All right, so we got that aspect, right? So we see that they have found 751 unmarked graves. They got 251 that they have uncovered as fully graves, and they got the rest are pings through ultrasonic radar that they got going, ground piercing radar, right? So let's go to this one now.
Canada is unearthing its brutal history, a history where thousands of children were put forcibly.
So what we want to understand is that, one, Canada saying, hey, we ain't got nothing to do with this. This is, I know we're the government, but the schools were run by the Catholic Church. Even though it was an agreement between the government and the Catholic Church, we as the government wasn't there. The people that were on hand was there were the priests and the nuns. And behind one school, they found 215. In between the ages of 3 and 15 years old. How evil can they be as a collective? And they tell us to turn the other cheek. They say non-violence. They say all of these things after they've committed horrific atrocities full of violence, bloodshed, death. Let's see how the real natives are acting out there. Let's see how they respond to the Pope refusing to give an apology. Boggles the mind.
In Catholic residential schools. They were torn away from their families, put in crowded boarding schools and subjected to sexual, physical and emotional abuse. By the end of it, thousands of children went missing. What was common among them? They all belonged to Canada's indigenous communities. They were natives. And they all most likely died in school. We say this because the remains of these children have now been found. Canada is digging up unmarked graves of children who died in the schools they were forced to attend. A few weeks ago, we reported this story from British Columbia, 215 children found in unmarked graves in a school. Now, a second mass grave has been found at another school site. What you see on a screen are pictures from Saskatchewan. A total of 751 unmarked graves have been found here. This is one of the largest burial sites found till date. Yet another reminder of the cultural genocide against the indigenous community, the native people of Canada, a genocide that Canada chooses to forget. Let me tell you about the victims. In Canada, 3 communities make up the indigenous population: the First Nations, the Métis, and the Inuit peoples. They are the original inhabitants of Canada, and they were targeted in the 19th and 20th centuries. They were victims of a forced assimilation campaign, something like what China is doing right now in Xinjiang, forcing people to conform to a certain culture, religion, ideology, and politics. In Canada, the government funded more than 130 compulsory boarding schools. They were opened in 1883, and they ran until the year 1996, as recently as that, 1996. 70% of these schools were run by the Roman Catholic Church. The Canadian government wanted to, quote-unquote, assimilate Indigenous children into the Western culture. What it did instead was exploit them. For decades, these children were taken from their families, often by force, and put in these boarding schools. These schools were poorly built, poorly heated. These were unsanitary facilities, infested with abusive authorities. The children suffered sexual and physical abuse. They were barred from speaking their own language. Some children managed to escape the torture, but many others were not so lucky. In the year 2008, Canada established a National Truth and Reconciliation Commission, a body to investigate these residential schools. The commission found that 4,100 children went missing from these schools across the country. The indigenous community believes the number is much higher. One estimate says 6,000 children could have died while attending these schools. And now, as more graves emerge, the picture appears far more grim. The judge who led this commission now says that the number of victims could go well beyond 10,000. The same investigation also found the Roman Catholic Church responsible for these heinous crimes. The commission urged the Pope to apologize. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau made a personal appeal, but the Roman Catholic Church has categorically rejected all of these demands. So far, the Pope has only expressed sorrow for what happened to these children. The response is unfortunate, but hardly surprising. When has the church apologized or admitted guilt? It is mired in the biggest sexual abuse scandals in the world. For years, the Catholic Church has dealt with complaints of sexual abuse by bishops. What does it do?
What does it do?
The church needs to admit its role in the cultural genocide and forced conversion of people all over the world.
Over the world.
But the indigenous communities of Canada are not holding their breath for that to happen. Instead, they've launched a nationwide search for mass graves. Local leaders are referring back to the stories they heard from their elders. And on the basis of these accounts, they're deploying ground-penetrating radars in areas where their schools used to be. And this is how the graves in Saskatchewan were discovered.
Over the past years, the oral stories of our elders, of our survivors, and friends of our survivors have told us stories that knew these burials were here. In 1960, there may have been marks on these graves. The Catholic Church representatives removed these headstones. And today they are unmarked graves.
Insult to injury. They removed the headstone.
80-year-old Florence Sparvier went to the same boarding school. Earlier today, she shared that indigenous people were labeled heathens by members of the Catholic Church, and the nuns told the children that they did not have souls.
I'm 80 years old, and I went to boarding school down there. I was taken by my parents to go. At that time, if the parents didn't want to allow their children to go to boarding school, one of them had to go to jail.
They put them in jail.
So in order that we keep the family together, we went to boarding school. They brought us there. We stayed there. And we learned. They pounded it into us, and really, they were very mean. When I say pounding, I mean pounding. And they made us believe we didn't have souls.
They made us believe we did not have souls. It's such a tragic story. These schools were not imparting education. They were systematically destroying a community. Indoctrination, exploitation, physical and mental abuse, all of these are hallmarks of a genocide. These Catholic schools in Canada committed these grave crimes, but the Catholic Church does not admit it was a genocide.
No.
Well, neither does Canada. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau projects his country as the vanguard of democratic values, but Canada is yet to acknowledge this genocide against its own people. Officially, Canada recognizes 8 genocides the world over: the Holocaust during the Second World War, the Armenian genocide of 1915, the Ukrainian famine genocide of 1923, the Rwandan genocide of 1994, the Srebrenica massacres in 1995, the mass killing of the Yazidi people in 2014, the Rohingya genocide in 2016, and the ongoing genocide of the Uyghurs in China. Canada has recognized all these events as genocide. What about the mass murder of children at home? that for Canada does not qualify as genocide. In fact, Canada has largely forgotten about it, or had
Indian
forgotten,
residential
until the
schools,
mass
they
graves
call them.
could no longer be ignored. And now more are being discovered, so Canada is being forced to face up to one of the darkest chapters in its history.
So they burned down
Beyond is
8
now
churches.
available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.
So they burned down 8 churches in Canada so far. Just as a little, saying, hey, y'all don't want to acknowledge this, then you can acknowledge these burning churches and you can tell us how you feel about that. All I can say is that it is clear that what I wanted the burning of the mass graves. That one switched on me. They didn't give me my 8 churches burning. But what you saw there, one, was representations of the Inuits. When we're talking about Aborigine, right? When we're talking about the copper-colored races, right? The copper-colored nation, not races, the copper-colored nations that were found here when the Europeans came from South America all the way to Canada, right? We know the story of the Mongolian / Siberian, of what some of us refer to as civilized or $5 Indian, whatever you want to call them, right? These are the ones that are connected to the Inuits. See, when you're going into your, I'm glad my brother's in the building saying I'm on point. Thank you for keeping me straight, brother. If I get something wrong, my brother, go ahead and drop it in there. Ain't nobody, look, you new to Hebrew state of being. We ain't got no feelings around here. If I get something wrong, drop it on in there, my brother. Salute, right? Chawa. So what you find is that the Aboriginals that were found here, right? These Siberian / Mongolian, which has been proved in their DNA when those $5 Indians did that to try and protect what they thought they had when the awakening started, and many of the copper-colored tribes went to reclaiming, copper-colored people went to reclaiming their ancestry and wanted in on these tribes that they were originally started from. You get that? They were originally started by copper-colored people, but now represented by Mongolian / Siberian, right? So even in your newscast that you got just now that's trying to be non-biased, they still put forth the biased history. They still put forth someone, the representatives of the Inuits. Well, in Canada, the majority of the Indians that are there, the Aborigine, is the Cree, not the Inuit, the Cree. And what you have on your screen is a picture of a Cree Indian, all right? Let me give you another one. It's a Cree Indian, right? This is the ones that are predominantly in the Canada, in North America, right? Because right here, yeah, we'll go to Cree. Come on back. Now, when they say they found these graves in Saskatchewan, right? So you see here it says the Cree Indians are a vast tribe of the Aborigine who reside in various parts of North America. These locations include Rocky Mountains and areas along the Atlantic coast. In Canada, the Cree Indians heavily populate Quebec and Saskatchewan. Similar to other Indian tribes, there are several bands of Cree. All right. All right. I want y'all to come with me here, right? Now, oh, is it native tribes, Canada? Hold up. Go back. I should have had my search still up here. Maybe not. Maybe not. Hold on 1 second. There it is. Aborigine Canada. There we go. Now, oh, they don't want to give me. Hold up. They gave me a breakdown before. They want to give me my breakdown they gave me before. That showed that the Cree was the majority of Canada's indigenous population. One second. Say this is what they gave me before. That's what I'm looking for, the indigenous statistics. I'm gonna have to let this go because I don't want to break out of what we're doing, what I got already stated for you guys, but I wanted to show the statistics of the indigenous of the Cree. So that's the Inuits, right? And the Métis, right? That's First Nation. 16. So 51%, right? Is gonna be a single. Then you Inuits is the ones that they showed. That's 29%. I want y'all to understand that. The Inuit, the Mongolian / Siberian, represent 29%. The others, as the Cree, represent, I believe that's the 51. So as you see right here, they had the two different ones. The First Nation people, the Métis and the Inuit. The Inuit are the ones that came over. All right. So now going to our scripture on Isaiah. With this understanding of what we just watched, of how these oppressors, demonic systems came over to this beautiful land, you'll understand this verse when we're talking about the title of the show being Guard Your Mind and Burn Down the Lies. You feel what I'm saying, Alana? It's I know that it's heavy sometimes and people may not understand. Yeah, I bet they did, my brother ambidextrous, huh? What we're coming across when what we're explaining is that you are being given a lie pretty much every time you cut on a TV and listen to a newscast. They are purporting the same lies that the Spanish, the French, the Roman Catholics, the Portuguese at the time, all of these that came together in a confederacy to start this new world. And they put forth what were the original Indians of this land. They put forth the out of Africa theory. It was done by Melville Horowitz. He was out of Chicago, studied under Dr. Drake. Yeah, not Drake, but Drake. Draper in Chicago, which created the Out of Africa theory. All these things have been done by these people to disconnect us from each other, from who our creator is, and they give us these different names and they purport their images, and they want us to believe that we can't be Aboriginal, because anything that's called native or Aboriginal has to have long flowy hair, right? It has to have skin that looks almost like buttermilk, right? In order for you to be what they will call Paleo Indian. But we are the Paleo Indians, as we understand from the Olmecs, which don't look nothing like the Siberian slash Mongolians. And the Mongolians slash Siberians look the same in Alaska as they do in Mongolia, as they do in Siberia, as they do in the pictures that they give us as the original people, but now look like actual British. So with this understanding, let's see what Isaiah is going to explain to us on how we burn these things down. It says, in that day shall this song be sung in the land of Yahudah. We have a strong city. Salvation will the Most High appoint for walls and bulwarks. So this is the Most High is going to provide salvation. The salvation is going to be our walls. People are asking the question, how can I claim Aboriginal and claim Hebrew or Shemitic? I want to be clear about something. Everywhere the colonizer went, he destroyed books. He destroyed libraries from Alexandria and Kemet to in the Aztecs with the Papavu. From any place that he's gone, he has destroyed libraries. Why? Why libraries? Places and halls of records, as well as the library in Timbuktu, which was known to be the greatest, documents, my brother. They burned the documents that would allow us to make the connection of why the Western Hemisphere of Africa and the Hebrew, the Shemitic people that were driven all the way from which is in Iran, to Jerusalem when Joshua took it, from out of there to the inwards of Africa, all the way to the west coast of Africa, to meeting up with the slave trade when the Portuguese and the Dutch mixed Congo and the Judah together right there on the slave coast, then shipped us after 1492 and having the papal bull sound very close to the papal bull, huh? To the decree that we were all heathens, that we were all savages, as the Inuit said, that the Pope and the nuns told them they had no soul, that they were savages, that they were by God told them by this white Jesus that they had the right to subjugate, rape, kill, maim, and murder. In its name. See, they burned these documents, these libraries, these connections of history and knowledge and wisdom. That's why the prophecy said in the end times that we would wake up and the dry bones would walk again. So I can sit here and claim Shemitic as Aborigine and claim Aborigine of North America with my family tribes from Judah under my father to the Sioux and Avioles and Cherokee later of my family, right? I can claim that, and I know that, and I don't need 23andMe. I trust my family. See, what you have to understand clearly tonight, if you understand nothing else, when they brought in their education, they told us that our elders no longer had information for us. And we stopped going to our elders for this information. We started going to our oppressor for our information. We don't want to trust anything that hasn't been written by the oppressor. That's a real thing. I just played you what they did in Canada. It happened here, right at Congo Square, across the street on Rampart. They unearthed a grave of Aborigine. We know that all of the so-called French Quarter of New Orleans was Congo Square. That it got shrunken by each oppressor, from the Spanish to the French to the Americans, to be in this little plot of land in front of the municipal auditorium. If you don't get anything tonight, understand that we are the Aborigine here. They have tried to make the disconnect between us. The false doctrine of the Abrahamic laws in the New Testament and the Quran and so forth and so on is their story. Our prophecies, the Torah from Moshe that has been handed down, when you understand that the history of the Mexica, the Mexican people, that they came from Aztlan, which is, many people debated, but it's somewhere around Wisconsin, somewhere around Nevada, somewhere in between that Wisconsin, Nevada thing or whatever, right? Whatever. And they had a prophecy to go to their land. And when they would get to their land, they would know it by an eagle with a snake in his mouth perched on a cactus. And that's their flag to this day. When you say my brother grandfather's young boy don't know nothing, son, he said that the reason that your discussion, yeah, all praises, my brother, yes. Yes, total to the yes, my brother. So when their history came in, we turned away from our elders, and we felt and made as though our elders didn't know anything, and that we had to go to our oppressors to get information because, hey, they were oppressing our elders. Our elders had to get food, had to get provisions to take care of us from them. So as a child, you see the system going, and then you go to school and you see them again, and now you're an adult, and now you're in this fog, you're in this lie. That's why in Isaiah it says that when we have a strong city, we won't need walls. The salvation of the Most High is going to be our walls. That's going to be our salvation. See, we're talking about supernatural. Don't read this book like you read any other book. Read this book expecting the supernatural to be a part of it. Don't read it for some salvation that they told you in some old church that needs to be burned, that this salvation was something that you got once you died and you just had to be a good slave to them. No. This is talking about a city that's right here on this earth. So that means that the Most High has made promises to his people that you would have victory on this earth, not after you die. It says that the Most High will be our walls. It'll be a strong city with the bulwarks. It says, open ye the gates, that the righteous nation, which keepeth the truth, which keeps what? Not a doctrine, not a religion, not a Jesus piece. It says, who keeps the truth may enter in. Not no testimony of idol. It says, open ye the gates that the righteous nation which keepeth the truth may enter in. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee because he trusted in thee. What is it saying? It is saying that when you go to your elders, when you do your meditation, your alone time, when you go to the ancient text, when you take the time to make sure that you're not reading something that was written by your oppressor, when you do enough research to realize that the Isaiah text is the oldest text known to man in antiquity. Not the Bible, but this script, this manuscript of Isaiah that was on the scroll. This scroll is the oldest written thing they've gotten. Now, when I tell you that it couldn't be written by Caucasians, because when the scroll was dated, Caucasians hadn't had written language. I'm going to say it again. That when this scroll of Isaiah, the totality of it was written, Caucasians lacked language, written language. So it says, open ye the gates that the righteous nation which keepeth the truth may enter in. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusted in his own work. See, I don't trust in the Most High like you trust in some hope that you're going to have a steak tomorrow. You know, are you hoping for a promotion at your job, or you sitting back pondering about how nice it would be to be in a bigger place? No, I trust in the fact that I put the work in testing the Most High. I'm like, if I walk on these 10 commandments right here, forget that 613 that somebody may have told you. Somebody may have told you about them 613 laws of Hebrews, but those are Hebrews that are stuck in a camp, that are stuck in a Pauline doctrine, that's stuck in the New Testament, which is an absolute lie. And that those 613 laws came from the Masoretes. The Masoretes were Karaites. The Karaites were Khazarians, Russians, German, Polish, Tubal Meshach, Japhet lineage, not the lineage of Shem. See, when you care enough about making sure you're not reading no lies, you're gonna dig deep to find out who and what and how this document came across to you, to find its way across your divine royal essence. It says, thou will keep him in perfect peace. What the Most High is going to keep me in perfect peace when I keep my mind on him, because I trust in him, because those 10 commandments, I live by it and I see the rewards from it. Not because I don't see the rewards, that I'm just out here willy-nilly in the whim. It says, when you come to living your life, you got to live your life by a law. If you want to live your life by the Hammurabi law, right? You want to live your life by the Babylonian law. See, people will try and make this thing up to be a whole bunch of things, but it comes down to two things. It comes down to definition of one creator, one great spirit, as the Aborigines say. It is not about multiple gods, multiple angels, praying to this and praying to that. Christianity got its multiple saint system from the divination, the God system of African spirituality. They're all one, Kemet, Hermetic laws. Most High say, you got to keep your mind on him, or you're going to get caught up in these false doctrines. You got to meditate and let him talk to you, and talk to your elders that know some things. And it says, verse 4, trust ye in the Most High forever. For in the Most High is everlasting strength. You know, we dodged a hijack with that Jehovah thing, because that came from the Tetragrammaton. We understand as deep divers and students that the Tetragrammaton was created by the Greeks. and the Romans. Yeah, we in the hole tonight. You're right, Dorothy. Yeah, yes. We have to be clear that the hijack of the Greek and the Roman, which is in Daniel 12, that prophesied of the he goat that would be the demonic entity that would rule the world by its government, not by some red scaly guy with some horns. Oh, you got that indigenous song going. Hey, I see you in there. Bring that. Bring that. Yeah, all praises to you, Dio. All praises, Queen. So we saying we got the spirit going tonight, y'all. I don't know if y'all feel it there, but the great spirit is in the building, the most high. The Ruach HaKodesh is in the building. For he bringeth down them that dwell on high. The lofty city, he laid it low. He laid low, even to the ground. He bring it even to the dust. When we rap, we talk about lay him low. With that, when that chopper blasts, right? This is terminologies and things that we speak on because it's in us. We are waking up to where it's supposed to be. No, you're not supposed to put your thug in a suitcase. You're not supposed to put your womanhood in a suitcase. You're not supposed to put your gangster on hiatus. You're supposed to redirect it. You're supposed to take that power, because that's what you're going to need to conjure up your mental and your spiritual barakas. You're going to need to channel that gangster. You're going to need to channel that love that you have for your community, that activist in you, that love of your family and your bloodline. You're going to need that anger. Don't only the pale face wants you to subdue yourself. And I'm not just talking about the pale face beast. I'm talking also about the Hermetics. I'm also talking about the sellout. I'm also talking about the stepping and fetching. I'm talking about the boule. I'm talking about the politicians that look like me and you. Without them, they would never have a pass into our community. Evil would not have a way into our community if it isn't for the stepping and fetch it that bow down for the almighty dollar that they made their God. When the Spanish Cortez came to Montezuma and they started giving him gold because Montezuma had a prophecy that one of their gods that was white, that had a beard, left in a raft and was coming back and was going to take his seat. Now, Montezuma wasn't all that good of a guy. You know, he wasn't the best leader he could have been, right? But he believed in the prophecy. So when Cortez and them boys walked up to this great empire with 600 men, they were Caucasian with a beard. What's the point of that? You fall to fables and stories and false doctrines, and you don't consort your creator. You allow a doctrine to tell you to lay down and let all your people die. So Cortez, see, the thing was, Cortez only really wanted one thing, though. See, Montezuma was scared of the prophecy, so he started bringing gold to Cortez. This is in the 1500s, y'all. This ain't that far. This ain't that long ago. He started giving gold unto him, right? So you know how it is. The natives, we don't put no pride in all that. The natives, the Aborigines saw the way these boys was acting about the gold and asked them, man, what is you tripping on? You acting like you on that coke there, yeah, boy, whoa, calm down. And you know what Cortez told the Aborigine? He says that the white god suffers from a heart ailment that only gold can cure. This is a quote. So when our people sell us out for gold, when they sell us out for monetary things, they are, in fact, praising the God of our oppressor. Whether they like it or not. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it's saying here. For he will bring down them that dwell on high, the lofty cities, he will lay it low. He will lay it low even to the ground and bring it even to the dust. The foot shall tread it down, even the foot of the poor, and the steps of the needy. The way of the just is uprightness. The way of the just is uprightness. Thou, most upright, dost weigh the path of the just. Yea, in the way of thy judgment, O Elohim, have we waited for thee. See, when we read the scripture and understand that the Most High is about judgment, then we understand that this judgment that was given to us by our oppressor, they created a boogeyman. When you read the scriptures, judgment is about righteousness coming through. It's about dispelling iniquity. It's about you being exalted for doing the right thing. Judgment has been given a negative connotation, but in actuality, it should have a positive connotation when you are following the law, statutes, and commandments. I welcome judgment. I welcome judgment for two reasons. One, I think that I'm trying my best. Two, because since I want to be the best I can be and to receive every baraka, that I don't cut my own nose off to spite myself. That's the worst thing that can happen, is to know that you fumbled the ball yourself, and there was nobody around, and you just fumbled the ball. That's one. I want to make sure that I don't fumble the ball. And secondly, if I am doing something wrong, I want to know so that I can secure the ball. You know, the bag, as they say, the package. So I look at judgment willingly and openly, because if I run to judgment with my father, just like I would run to my earthly father, if I run to my dad and said I wrecked the car that was on me, he's gonna be mad. I did something wrong. But if I didn't hide it or try to lie and say somebody hit and run and did all these things, and now we're at the police station, now he's got to find that I laid up there and laid this big old lie out. He's going to give me more lenience. He's going to know I am responsible, and he's going to pat me on the back and tell me next time, get it right. He won't see me as a deceitful person. He won't see me as a liar. See, verse 9 says, with my soul have I desired thee in the night. Yea, with my spirit within me will I seek thee early. For when thy judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. Man, speaker, I'm going to get some water. Let that marinate, man. Yeah. We have to know that when you walking in the righteous walk, man, that you look for judgment, because you want the people around you that's not in righteousness to be judged, to be changed, to have wisdom come upon them. And you need to be a walking example of that. It says, with my soul have I desired thee in the night. Yea, with my spirit within me. Not for everybody to see. This ain't a public thing. It says, within me will I seek thee early. For when thy judgments are in the earth, the inhabitants of the world will learn righteousness. Let favor be showed to the wicked. Let favor be showed to the wicked. Yet will he not learn righteousness. This is a full sentence. Don't get caught up in the first part. The way they talking is like they are being sarcastic almost, right? It says, let favor be shown to the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly and will not behold the majesty of the Most High. See, that's for your Roman Catholic Church. If you want to say that they was actually representing the Most High at any point in time, you would say, okay, well, they had an opportunity, they had the books to do righteous, but yet they molested, raped, mutilated, and then buried the evidence, then came back in the 80s or the 90s, he said, and took off all the gravestones. So they couldn't trace it back to the families. That the people out there had to hire their own investigation people and get their own ground penetrating sonar to find their ancestors. It says, uprightness, he will deal unjustly. Who are we talking about that was gonna do unjustly? Who has been doing unjustly? And will not behold the majesty of the Most High. My dad used to always say, boy, you won't get yourself beat with your own words. That's what I look at the scripture when these people out here are saying that they're representing the scripture. I'm like, y'all gonna get whooped with your own words. Like you know, I guess if ain't nobody reading, I guess you could make your little slant and do your thing. But man, you got to know if you're reading this, they talking about you. The Most High, when the hand is lifted up, they will not see, but they shall see, and be ashamed for their envy at the people. Yea, the fire of thine enemy shall devour them. So the fire of thy enemy is going to devour the oppressor. Like we don't even have to have no dirty hands in it. It says that they envy us. Who's the envied in America? I mean, every sitcom, every homosexual is trying to be like a black woman, trying to have the sass and the humor of a black woman. Everybody seems to be afraid of a melanated man. They all seem to be afraid we're going to have a turnaround day. They're all afraid we're going to wake up and come together. So much police profiling that two black men can't walk down the street together unless they think they're in the gang or they're gay. It's so uncommon for black men to walk in large groups together that they either got to be gay or a gang. Community activists, no, not that. Examples and mentors in the community, no. We don't know what none of that look like. Because we've been taught to hate each other and look at each other in any other light but as brother and sister, in any other name but royalty, in any other aspect but the seed of the Most High. Most High, when thy hand is lifted up, they will not see. So when the Most High is raising us up, the world is not going to see. But they're going to be ashamed at envying us and doing the things that they have done to us. But our enemy is going to destroy them and devour them. Verse 12, the Most High, thou wilt ordain peace for us. The Most High will ordain peace for us. But thou also hast wrought all our works in us. He's made us do everything we do, right? O Most High, our Creator, other lords beside thee have had dominion over us. But by thee only will we make mention of thy name. Now, Isaiah goes deep right there. Now, like a lot of people will read over this 13, but man, don't do it. Don't read over verse 13. It says, now understand this is the same Isaiah in chapter 43 where he says, the Most High tells him, there is no God before me, after me, or beside me, and I'm salvation. It's because Isaiah 43 that I got to throw the whole New Testament out with the bull. Yeah, they make references to the Old Testament. Those precepts I will use. But Paulinian doctrine, no. See, here, the Most High says that 43 of Isaiah, there's no other God. But in this 26th verse 13, he said, other laws besides thee, not on the side of him, not Jesus, not on the side of him, besides him, other fallen angels, these wannabe deities and gods, these fallen angels over these nations have had dominion over us. Isaiah is speaking about Babylonian captivity. Isaiah is speaking about the Chaldeans, about the Egyptians, the Kemet. He's talking about all these people with these gods. You had El in Babylon. You had the pharaohs and Osiris and all them over in Kemet. So saying you got all these lords besides you that's having dominion over us. But by thee only will we make mention of thy name. They are dead. They shall not live. They are deceased. They shall not rise. Therefore hast thou visited and destroyed them and made all their memory to perish. I said earlier there's only two. There's a living, that's the one created, and there's divination. Divination believes in dead gods, ancestral death beliefs from Sangita, you know what I'm talking about in South America. Sangrita, I believe that's whatever. Y'all know what I mean. The worshiping of the dead, worshiping of an idol of death. The Most High said that we are not supposed to make an image or worship anything on this earth or in the heavens. Says they are dead, they shall not live. They are deceased, they shall not rise. Therefore hast thou visited and destroyed them, and made all their memory to perish. Thou hast increased the nation, O Most High. Thou hast increased the nation. Thou art glorified. Thou hast removed it far unto all the ends of the earth. That would be what they call us, the diaspora. That means the dispersed. And that's what Isaiah is speaking of. We are glorified when we accept who we are. When we accept being the inheritance, the seed of the Most High, and we have our feast days. We have the understanding of how powerful we are and how the prophecies are for us. So it says, so in that sense, we are glorified wherever we are, wherever we lay our sandals, as long as we follow the law, statutes, and commandments, as long as we exude the reflection of the Most High, we are that. Verse 16, Most High, in trouble have they visited thee. They poured out a prayer when thy chastening was upon them. They poured out a prayer. So it says that they prayed while they chastised. Come on, man. Who's doing that? The Catholic. Man. Verse 17. Like as a woman with child that draweth near to the time of her delivery is in pain and cried out in her pangs, so have we been in thy sight, O Most High. We have been with child. We have been in pain. We have as it were brought forth wind. We have not wrought any deliverance in the earth, neither have the inhabitants of the world fallen. Let's unpack that. So it says, we have been with child, we have been in pain. We have, as it were, brought forth wind. We have, as it were, brought forth wind. We have not wrought any deliverance in the earth. So we haven't brought forth any power. We have not delivered anything on this earth. Neither have the inhabitants of the world fallen. So all the prophecies, it says that we will be glorious and that all of our enemies will fall. And it says, verse 19, thy dead men shall live, together with the dead body shall they arise, awake and sing, ye that dwell in the dust, for thy dew is as the dew of herbs, and the earth shall cast out the dead. Whoa, Isaiah's going deep. Isaiah is going deep. When it speaks about Ezekiel with the dry bones, here it's saying, thy dead men shall live. So it says that even though we have no power, we have not been delivered of this earth, and that we are, and the inhabitants of the world hasn't fallen, the powers that be the oppressors. It's still saying that, but in the end, that all that have died in righteousness, that have gotten their white robes, that have washed their red robes, the blood through their transgressions, through their self-discipline, through being that reflection of the Most High and meditating upon Him and trusting in Him, that turns that red robe into that white one, that purified, that can walk with Him, that can walk alongside with Him. It's saying here that thy dead men shall live, together with my dead body shall they arise. So Ezekiel already knowing that on the day that the Most High brings His judgment, that we're all going to rise, we're all going to awake the righteous, and we will sing, ye that dwell in the dust, for thy dew is as the dew of the herbs. Oh yes. And the earth shall cast out the dead. Come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. So Isaiah is saying, through generations, we're all going to go through it. Through generations until the judgment, that the righteous will fall. That, yes, these oppressors are going to have their time, but we, in this generation, I truly believe we're in Jacob's trouble, as it says above my head. To the right. Jacob's trouble. Read Jeremiah chapter 30. We're in this stretch. Now, if I'm wrong and it prolongs, another 20, 30, 50, 100 years, whatever it may be, I'm not waiting till I return, until judgment day. If I'm not here during that judgment time, I'm not waiting for that, for my roses. I'm not waiting for that to expect rewards and covering and grace and mercy. I'm not waiting for that. My Father told me while I was here, I am not in prison here. I'm not in nobody's jail. I expect the Most High to provide and to cover me, to be my rest haven. I have given up. I have turned and repent from this world and believing that a government, a doctrine, anything is going to save me, but my personal relationship with Him. Period. It says here, come my people, enter thou into thy chambers and shut thy doors about thee. We're probably going to be heading into another shutdown. This Rona thing, as they say, is not going away. The Most High says His pestilence is not going away, that He is going to bring forth these things until the governments break. That is the prophecy. I know a lot of people get caught up in revelations that's written to the churches, which is not us. He wrote to us what He was doing in the end time, in the Old Testament, in Jeremiah, in Ezekiel, in Isaiah. He says that on Judgment Day, he's going to break down every government. He's going to take the yoke off of our neck, and that we are going to have joy on this earth. And then he's going to bring his heavenly kingdom down upon this earth. Ain't nobody going nowhere. We ain't going to Mars. Y'all listen to these fables of these liars and the oppressor. This is heaven, homie. Get your mind right. It was made for you. You were made from this earth. The sun is for you. It's for your joy. It's for your healing. Get yours on this green earth. Expect your creator to take care of you on this green earth. Follow the laws of nature. Follow the 10 commandments of how you commune and deal with your brethren and your sisters. Most importantly, our queens. Brothers, we got to take our anger and don't let it apply to our queens. Even when the affliction of the world has them at us, we have to be able to direct that to the world, to our mission that the Most High has us on, to our work. Every man is put on this earth to do a work, to do a job. And I'm not talking about your 9 to 5. I'm talking about saving, giving an opportunity for somebody else to know the truth that you know, to give them the joy that you know, to help them break their chains mentally, physically, and spiritually. That is the mission. Now, many of us go about it different ways. I try to go about it doing documentaries, bringing awareness to the community activism. That is mine. So I sit in the middle with my community that wants to be Roman Catholic, wants to be Islam, wants to be everything but a child of the Most High. And I have the oppressors on the other end saying I got false information when we got the truth. This job of being messianic, this job of being a Messiah. If you know the words, Christ means Messiah. In Hebrew, it means Hamashiach. Hamashiach means Messiah, means anointed. It just means anointed. You are anointed. You get in this book, you get in your ancient text, you are anointed. That is the job of every daughter of Zion and every seed of Jacob. Close your doors to this world. Shut your chambers doors mentally, physically, from your phone. Get out of the matrix of this world and get back to peace and to nature and to natural and to the proper order. Know what it is. Walk in it. Be it. That's what it's about. That's what they mean by shutting your doors. That's what they mean by hiding thyself for a little moment, to level up your knowledge, level up your understanding, to level up your spirit, to make your spirit bigger and stronger so that you can conjure the things that you need to happen around you. To have enough calm to know that when fire is upon you, you will not get burned like Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego, that bad Negro. Know that you're going to be around lions and wolves and tigers, but like Daniel in the lion's den, you're not their prey. The heathen is their prey. The oppressor is their prey. If you understand that you're the seed, then you know who's the prey. When you know you the royal chosen, then you know who's the prey. And when you read these scriptures and it talks about what's going to happen to the prey, and you know that ain't you. You know you ain't you're not the thing that's going to be ordered up on the platter. You ain't one of them churches. You ain't part of none of them Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians. You ain't a part of none of them 7 churches that is going to be brought hell and brimstone. You ain't part of them churches. It says, hide thyself as it were for a little moment until the indignation. What is the indignation? It is the prophecies of the pestilence. It is all that is happening to this world. It's the economic downfall. It's the education downfall. It's the breaking of the government systems. It's the alliances. It's them eating each other, going against each other. It says that our enemies will consume our oppressors. That's the indignation that is asking you to stay in your house and not get involved with the stupidity out there. Let that indignation, let them fight, let them do all of what they're going to do. You do the work in your community and with your family. You do the work where you can see the manifestation and the change happening, where you can put your hands on it. Verse 21, for behold, the Most High cometh. For behold, the Most High cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity, for them 751 graves and counting. For right here in Congo Square, right down Rampart, when they ungraved all of our copper color aborigine here in the South, all the way from Florida to Texas, all the way up to Kentucky, to Muskogee, all the way to the Iroquois up in Massachusetts, to the Shinnecock. They've been burying us. That's why they try to put in the history books that we're all dead. This indignation, this wrath of the Most High is coming upon them. Stay in your house. Learn. Get your spirit up. Teach. Give this love to others. Learn how to eat off of their processed foods. Learn how to get food out of that's not at their grocery stores. Find you other means and sources of getting your vitals. That's the job, man. Verse 21, for behold, the Most High cometh out of his place to punish the inhabitants of the earth for their iniquity. The earth also shall disclose her blood. That's the graves being unearthed. When it says the earth also shall disclose her blood and shall no more cover her slain. No more will the earth dirt keep the cover over the dead bodies of our people. The earth is going to open up and give all the blood from all the people that have, man, come on, man. I pray y'all understanding these words, man. Come on, man. When you read it from the perspective of being the chosen seed and not a Gentile, because you ain't a Gentile. They're the heathens. They're the Gentiles. Let's get a precept, man. Let's go to Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 4. We're going to drop down to verse 23. And it says, keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are issues of life. Put away from thee a forward mouth, and preserve lips apart from thee. I'm going to start from 21. Let them not depart from thine eyes. Keep them in the midst of thine heart, for they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh. Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are issues of life. Put away from thee a forward mouth, a perverse lips, put far from thee. Let thine eyes look right on, and let thine eyelids look straight before thee. Ponder the path of thy feet, and let all thy ways be established. It It says, turn not to the right hand, nor to the left. Remove thy foot from evil. What it's saying is that keep your focus on the Most High. Keep your focus on your spirit being cleansed and clear. Keep your heart clean. Let's go to Deuteronomy. Oh, yeah. Deuteronomy 33. Got Psalms 101 after this, and I'm going to let y'all go for the night. Yes, sir. Oh, they didn't want to get me through. I spelled it wrong. Yeah, I did. I always put that U before that T. I do. And it says, verse 29, and it states, happy art thou, O Yasharallah, who is like unto thee, O people, saved by the Most High, the shield of thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thine enemies shall be found liars unto thee, and thou shalt tread upon their high places. We just looked at Canada, right? And they burned down the churches, right? Everybody trying to run, right? But it says, Yasharallah, which is the northern tribes, says, O people saved by the Most High, the shield and thy help, and who is the sword of thy excellency, and thine enemy shall be found, what? Liars. The Abrahamic doctrines that they have given, the lies they have put forth, the changing of dates and times, the changing of the Sabbath, the full commandment to Sunday. All these atrocities that they have done, you best believe there is hell to pay for. And thy enemy shall be found liars unto thee, and thou, us, shall tread upon their high places. Let's go to Psalms 101. My Aborigine, my Shemitic, we are in the building. We have to read these lines and know that the time is coming soon. Yes, we are the Aborigine Shemitic, baby. And yes, sir. Oh, they're not giving me my 101? Wait. 101. You don't want it. There we go. I pray that you guys have understood this word tonight, understanding that this time is coming very close. When the scriptures is talking about the earth giving up its blood and will not hide the atrocities, the iniquity of the oppressor, we're finding all these things coming up. We're seeing that the earth is tumulting. We're seeing that the earthquakes are happening all over the place. We're seeing tornadoes and hailstorms in Russia where it doesn't happen. We're seeing weather patterns and major catastrophe type weather patterns happening in places that they never had it before. We're looking at a heat wave that just came through that all praise, my brother, all praises. We just had a heat wave that they recorded in Death Valley, the hottest it's ever been anywhere on the earth. These prophecies are going to continue to ramp up. Things are not going to slow down. So we need to be prepared for what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to start getting mentally prepared to either have to go to the wilderness and be as pilgrims because all this stuff is going to go on the flames. And when you go, how you going to go? You're going to go scared, or you're going to know that he's there in the wilderness waiting for you, and he's going to provide for you. He's going to either provide somebody that can show you how to camp, or help you with some provisions, or you will figure it out. How about that? How about before the internet? How about before the oppressor? We all figured it out. How about we had kingdoms before this government? So when these things happen, we shouldn't be afraid to head to the wilderness. We should not be afraid to stand up and fight when it's time to fight. We should not be afraid of anything. We should be focused on him so that we know what thing he wants us to do. Psalms 101. I will sing of mercy and judgment unto thee. I'm telling y'all this judgment thing. Understand it, come to love it. O Most High, I will sing. What is it saying? Yes, Yah will provide. That's right. You know what I'm saying? We say Hawa, Alahayim. And for those that are new, the reason why we don't say Elohim is because El is the first god of Babylon. And his other name was Marduk. But, they use Marduk in the, history, so they don't want y'all to make the connection. And then the Greeks stole that El, and in their language, it was called Helios, which means sun. So they changed El to Helios, and both of those then became the sun god that they worship the sun, right? But it was originally Marduk that established Babylon. So when we don't use the word El in the beginning, we understand that our Hebrew language, we had the alphabet, not the alphabet, but that's where they stole the alphabet from. The first letter in the Hebrew language is Aleph, and Aleph stands for ox. It stands for the head, it stands for the power, which is the Most High. He's our head, he's our leader. So we take the A-L-E of the beginning of Aleph, which is A-L-E-P-H, and then you put the Him on the end for the vernacular of the Hebrews are saying the all one creator. So we say Allah Hayim. We also say Hawa. So these are our different ways that we have on Hebrew State of Being. We've searched out the most ancient words that we could find that represented our one creator and not some other gods from some other culture, some other whatever thing, right? So we pray that you do your own research. Don't take our word for it. You pull up the Hebrew alphabet chart that shows the translation from Hebrew being the original language, then coming in with the Greek and so forth, and you in Arabic, and you will see that Aleph was changed to El, and there's no Aleph and El does not mean the same thing, but they still replace the Aleph with the El, the same way that they replaced the Most High's name with God and Lord and Jesus. So this is something that we know is not new, and we just love finding the truth. You know what I mean? All praise to the Most High. So, and it says here, that's why we will sing of mercy and judgment unto thee, O Most High. Will I sing? I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. I will behave myself wisely in a perfect way. Oh, when wilt thou come unto me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. Guard. I said, guard your mind. The title shows guard your heart and your mind is to make them one. Remember, we said the only way that you can conjure anything in the Most High is that all three things have to be on one accord. Your mind, your body, and your spirit. So when it says here, your heart, your flesh, your mind, your spirit representation, right? So, and your flesh. So, mind, body. Yeah. So that would be the way that we break it down. You have to have all three things in alignment. Your body, your flesh can't want something that your mind, your heart, your body, your flesh can't want something that your mind, your spirit is asking the Most High the opposite for. It doesn't work. You have to have everything in a line in prayer to conjure up the things that you need to see come to fruition. So it says, or when wilt thou come unto me? I will walk within my house with a perfect heart. I will set no wicked thing before mine eye. I hate, hear it, I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me. So those people that ain't righteous, you don't let them cleave unto you. It says, a forward heart shall depart from me. I will not know a wicked person. Whoso privily slandereth his neighbor will I cut off. Him that hath a high look and a proud heart will not I suffer. So this Psalms 101 is telling you how to purge your own homies. It's telling you how to get the unrighteous people from around you. It's saying, I'm not going to deal with nobody that's gossiping and downing somebody. We got too much to talk about how we can build. We got too much to talk about with uncovering all these lies to follow the truth. I ain't got time to be slandering and looking at something silly. Him will I cut off, it says, that slandereth my neighbor. Him that hath a high look, one that are arrogant, the one that think they all that. I will not suffer myself to be in a company. Mine eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me. He hath walketh, it says, he that walketh in a perfect way, he shall serve me. Oof. He that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. I will early destroy all the wicked of the land, that I may cut off all the wicked doers from the city of the Most High. Now we read in the beginning that Judah, when it's our salvation, when it's our city, that salvation is going to be our walls. It says because the Most High says he's going to destroy all the wicked so that the city can live. See, we won't have to worry about enemies, because the Most High is going to take care of that, whether he has us do it for him, because he said many times that we will be his battle axe. Many times he says that one that enslaved you, you will enslave. He has said many times that there will be a time of retribution. But me personally, if I don't get that at all, I'm good as long as I got salvation, as long as I got it laid out where I'm at, as long as I got everything I like the way I like it, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got to have no servants, you dig? I ain't got to be beating nobody. That ain't in my spirit, you heard me? But where I'm at with is a refuge and peace and food and beauty and music and giving praise unto the Most High, man. That's where I'm trying to be at. Get me into that party. That's where I'm trying to be at. All that, y'all can have all that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm 48. I done been through the walls. I done been, man, look, I'm about that peace, bro. Look, you know, when I found out that the 144 that's going to be bringing, you know, this pain and the sword in the last days, that they were virgins, I was out the picture on that when I kind of gave up my whole, you know, desire to want to, you know, vanquish and pay back all that has been done to my community, to my oppressor. When I realized that, you know, I'm not a virgin, and that's part of that criteria, I said, well, no, I can take the peace. You know what I'm saying? I can live with just the peace. I give all praises to the Most High. I pray y'all enjoyed this word tonight. I pray that you understood the film that we showed. You know, because we're gonna have to be emotionally strong coming, right? And I'm gonna play this little piece for you guys because as a little brother I watch sometimes. One of my big brothers loves this dude, you know, and he always, you know, talks to him about me, you know, talks to me about some of the videos he has, but he's in another country. And I want to give you guys from a perspective of not just American and just our Aborigine, but this brother, he could be Aborigine as well as he could be Hermetic, you know what I'm saying, which is also Aborigine as well. So, but check out what he's saying, because I think it's important and it's something to leave off the night with.
Frequency
in nature every single day, raising the vibration. And in nature, I'm very observant. Like, what if...
Hold on, let me get this. There we go. Check out Brother Smart.
It's happening in nature. You see so much every single day. I see so much. In nature, only the strong survive. You've heard that saying, right? Only the strong survive. No. In nature, only those who are able to adapt survive. Slow motion this side. Only the strong shall survive, right? Only the strong shall survive. Prepare yourself emotionally for what's coming, deep divers. Right now, it's getting kind of real on the planet. A lot of people, their lives have been ruined with this global pandemic. A lot of depression, a lot of mental health disorders. People have lost homes, lost jobs, lost businesses. Some people are completely fed up of what's happening around them with...
Here's why motivation doesn't work. Motivation gives you a false sense of certainty. The reason that most people addicted to motivation is because they're waiting for that dopamine hit in their brain to get that feeling to take action. And when that feeling wears off, they stop doing it.
Now they don't want to let me press the thank you.
Around them with these restrictions, with this whole new world order, with the vaccination passports, with everything. A lot of people are finding it hard, not mentally, but emotionally. And I want you to prepare yourself emotionally for what's coming. So in the US, President Biden just said, hey, we will be doing knock, knock. Who's there? The cat down the road is there, deep divers. Knock, knock, who's there? Yes, we are going to every single house and doing the knock, knock of all the unvaccinated. Knock, knock, who's there? We're now coming to your door, right? I told you, it's about to get real. It's already getting real, deep divers. And I want to remind you, everything that's happening right now is your greatest challenge to stand in your power. Yeah. If you do not fight for what you want, you will have time to cry for what you lost. Many people are now starting to realize it's getting real. Many people are now starting to realize only the strong will survive emotionally. You have to be emotionally strong right now because it's getting real. You have to be emotionally strong right now because the inorganic ones, they are applying pressure on your ass every single day. Now,
inorganic, yeah.
This is happening for a reason. This global pandemic is happening for a reason. It's happening to wake you up, to open your eyes. COVID means creating our vision in detail. Slow motion this side. And that's what we've all got to be doing. If you are feeling weak right now, like you want to give up right now, like you can't go on right now, I'm here to remind you, hold on. Because the miracle happens just before you want to give up. And what seems like the end is only a new beginning in disguise.
That's right.
And we ain't even had breakfast yet. Can I get a hello? Hey. Every single day, I am cultivating emotional strength. And you need emotional strength right now more than ever, especially in the midst of a global pandemic. Especially when governments all around the world are doing the knock knock on your door if you have not been vaccinated. Especially in a whole new world of vaccination passports, a whole new world where they are taking away your freedoms. You're going to have to learn how to become emotionally stronger. One of the greatest ways to build emotional strength, one of the greatest ways to build emotional fortitude is instead of asking the universe, why is this happening to me? Ask the universe, what do you want me to learn from this experience? I was just stuck in a traffic jam, deep divers. And I'm like, instead of getting mad, let me grow wiser. Let me use this as an exercise to cultivate more inner peace and patience. Because this is a test. them taking away your freedoms is a test.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't going to make it. A lot of people have already thrown in the towel. Right now, you have to realize this too shall pass.
Yes.
Right now, you have to realize you are not powerless. You are powerful beyond measure. You can be a co-creator. The inorganic ones want to bully you into submission. So you give up. So you lose your energy. So you're like, there's nothing I can do. Learn helplessness. There is so much you can do. Right now, you have to have the emotional strength to do the unpopular thing. And that might be speaking your heart and mind, speaking your truth, because we are in the midst of spiritual warfare. I told you about the split between 3D and 5D. The inorganic ones want you trapped in the 3D, which is the fear, the lower frequency. You have to elevate above that and move to the love frequency, the 5D, because right now there is a war for your mind, a war for your soul, a battle for the hearts and minds of the people. Only the strong will survive. A lot of people you know have already switched sides.
Oh, yeah.
You thought they were conscious. You thought they were awake. But now you're like, oh my gosh, they are so into the system. Because you see, this global pandemic is exposing who everyone really is.
Oh.
That's why I told you it's happening for a reason. There's not only an earth reset, the great reset, right? You've heard of that. There's also a cosmic reset.
That's right.
And this is why it seems like the world is ending, because it is the end of time as we know it. They know this. We are entering the age of Aquarius. And this is why you're seeing a whole new world, because this system has had a system failure.
Yes.
And their time is up.
Yeah.
And right now, you have to stand in your truth. Right now, you have to stand in your freedoms. Right now, you have to stand united with other people who are all about their freedoms, protecting their freedoms, protecting their mental health.
Yes.
The mental health of children. Stand together. United with your fellow kindred human being. This is the only way out of this, because the inorganic ones are not going to stop. They are going to continue to make your life a complete misery, to make you suffer. But once again, suffering is a choice.
So if they suffer, they want to make us suffer.
You can wake up and choose how you feel, and this is how you become emotionally stronger. You can say, even though they're locking the whole place down, they're having vaccinations everywhere and face masks everywhere, I'm going to choose to stand in my truth, choose to stand in my power. And this is how you get the keys to your own freedom. You unlock the doors and now you fly. Let me tell you this, Deep Dive.
That's the part I want you guys to get as a finish off of the show tonight. Strengthen your spirit. This brother's not even in America. I want you guys to know that this is happening everywhere. You may not think it's really happening that much in America because they got you so caught up with people going to space and whatever silliness that's going on. But this thing is happening. Everybody's happy that the United States opened up and they want to try and get back to business because people need to provide for their families. But they're really missing that the thing is still happening. So much so, like my brother said, vax that thing up is a no-no. Yes, no. But they were giving out catfish with this shot. They giving out marijuana with this shot. They giving dance stuff. That should make you question. The fact that they're trying to give you some medicine that has no side effects when Tylenol has a side effect. And this is a whole changing of your DNA. Enough said with that. I pray that you guys have enjoyed the lesson tonight. Level up on your spirit. Read Psalms. Rejuvenate yourself. Know your truth. Stand on your truth. The Most High will be your refuge and will be your sword and will be your joy. With that said, man, me shalom. We will see you guys on this Shabbat. That's right. All praise the Most